Hey everyone, welcome to MuseThemes.com. This is Ashton Bingham. Today we have a new design widget for you called Sunder Gallery. This is a really dynamic and slick gallery for Muse that has a really unique way of displaying its targets. As I hover around our live demo here, you can see that each of these tiles acts as a hover trigger, and the rest of the tiles kind of become the target image, which is really cool. Each tile, of course, has some titles and text, as well as icons that can be linked anywhere internally or externally. This also has some great responsive behavior, as we can see if I scale the browser down just a bit. And additionally, included with the widget are several layouts that you can use for various breakpoints or alternate layouts of your site. If I shrink the browser down to a tablet size, we can see a much different layout applied, and even all the way down to a phone size. All of which is included in the widget download. Now we'll take a closer look at that once we get into Muse, so how about we just switch over now and dive right in. Now as I mentioned at the start, this is what we call a design widget. We've released several of these lately, and basically what that means is that this isn't a widget designed completely from scratch using custom code. This is a widget designed using only the base widgets that you can find natively in Muse, in this case a composition widget. So let's expand our library and take a look at what's going on here. We've included 3 different versions of this widget inside the dropdown here. We have desktop, phone, and tablet. Now they're already pre-designed for those browser sizes and will function right out of the box once you drag them onto the page. Now it's highly suggested that you set up all of your breakpoints the way that you want them on your page before dragging anything out from the library. Desktop size should be about 960 or higher, tablet somewhere around 768 is typical, and phone layout around 550 or smaller. Now each version of this widget is specifically designed for the various sizes noted, and the arrangement of the elements might be a little off if you drag layouts onto breakpoints that are a bad fit. And you can of course only have the layouts on certain breakpoints as you see fit. And conveniently, the widget comes default to only display on the breakpoints that it's placed on, so you don't have to worry about hiding it on other breakpoints or rearranging anything, which is really nice. So since I've got my breakpoints already set up here, let's go ahead and run through the desktop version, as this one is by far the most complex compared to the other two. I'll drop the widget onto the page, and we'll go ahead and make sure it's centered up. Perfect. Now you're going to need 9 images for this to function as is, and you'll see 9 preloaded images already visible that you can find in the Assets folder included in the download. But you can of course swap these out for your own, and you can do so pretty easily. As I mentioned, we're working with a Muse composition widget here, so familiarity with them is definitely a plus. As I click through the tiles, you can see that each one acts as a trigger, displaying a new target image every time I change. Basically, each one of these triggers links to a different large target image. So how do we change the target image? Let's say we wanted to change the image for the trigger here on the very top right. First, we're going to want to select it, revealing the image that we want to change. And now what we need to do is select the target as a whole. But at this moment, we can't do that because the entire landscape is covered by the triggers. So what we're going to do is grab this trigger, and we're just going to slide it out of the way just a little bit. And what that does is free up a part of the target that's layered behind, allowing us to select it. Now I'm going to undo that really quick because I want to point something out first. It's helpful to take note of the X and Y positions of the trigger before you move it, because it's important that it be moved back to this exact position when you're finished. But in case you forget, remember that each row and column will share a common X and Y respectively. And a little trick I like to use here is to hold the Shift key down on your keyboard while you drag. That'll keep the trigger kind of on rails, so to speak, as it's being moved, and it will keep it from going too far astray. So now that we can select the target as a whole, we can simply visit our Fill menu, and we'll click to choose a new image from our Assets folder. And once we do that, it will be automatically loaded in, just like that. Then all I have to do is hold down the Shift key once more, and we can drag our trigger back to its original position. Perfect. Repeat this process 8 more times and your gallery is wired for sound. Now similarly, for the tablet and phone layouts, you can swap the images out the same way using the Fill menu. However, those are even easier because this grid layout isn't reflected there, so you don't have to move any triggers out of the way. And another note I'll mention here is the triggers themselves. Now you can, of course, edit the text boxes and icons by clicking a few times until you have the text selected, and then you can customize that how you wish. And also the icons here are simply pasted inline into the text boxes directly. So you can use your text tool to move them around, or you can simply delete them and replace it with anything that you want. And lastly, you can hyperlink just about anything here to direct to another page, either internally in your site or externally if you wish. By selecting any individual trigger, we can then visit our hyperlinks menu and assign a link, just like normal. And same goes for selecting just one of our icons. We can select any of those, visit our hyperlinks menu, and link anywhere we want using that as well. So that's our Sunder gallery, folks. Keep in mind when you download the widget, you'll receive a zip file containing the widget, the assets folder, as well as the demo project file that exactly matches our live demo on our website. So feel free to check that out if you want to see all the layouts already set up. We do hope you enjoy, and of course don't hesitate to let us know if you run into any issues at all. Cheers!